Okay, I'm back. This is going to be the first in a series of my language books or learning materials for the most part. I have a bunch of stuff on Kindle. I also have a ton of books as PDF files on my computer. I'm not going to show you that stuff. Just going to show you what I have here. All right, so kind of random stuff, but uh, some random stuff, and then a lot of it is like thematic, where I have a lot of like the Baltic or the Slavic languages or the Indo-European languages together, but also some loose ends. So, for example, Chinese, Chinese Grammar Wiki, this book by this company, by the All Set Learning Company, and I think the chief editor here says John Pasden. I think he's also part owner. I'm not sure. Um, if you want to learn Chinese, I highly recommend you use this company's books, and they have graded readers, and they just walk you slowly, little by little, through the language. Okay, I did a little bit, but not much. Like I speak no Chinese. Um, a pretty good book if you want to learn Bosnian or Croatian or Serbian or Montenegrin. This book here, a textbook with exercises in basic grammar. It does have that. This is by Ronel Alexander and Ellen Elias Bursach. Okay, I have that book. More on Croatian. I have this monster book also. Croatian language, 101 Croatian verbs. Um, yeah, highly inflected language. So these kind of verb conjugation books are helpful. Another book in Croatian. This little teach yourself book. This is by Vera Javarek and Miroslava Sudjic. Uh, Old teach yourself books, maybe even new teach yourself books are pretty good. So I have this book. And what I like about those books is they don't overwhelm you uh, with vocabulary each chapter. They give you like 15 to 20 words, but usually about it. Okay, let's move on to this book here. I used to have its companion. I don't know where it is. Elementary Turkey by Kurtuluş Öztopçu. I forgot how to read Turkish. I used to know how to read it. Anyway, so I have Elementary Turkish, a complete course for beginners. Here it says no, number 44, and there's the next one that's 45. I had that one, but I think I accidentally um, sent it to an eBay seller, mistakenly sending my Turkish book for the Chinese book that I was trying to return. So not good, not good. I was really sad when I when I realized my mistake here. Um, 220 full basic vocabulary builder games for kids. This is English and Albanian. Um, Albanian is a language I'm one of the languages I'm actively trying to learn. I'm not like super gung ho trying to learn it, but little by little, I try to do, a few times a week. So like Përshëndetje, un quhem Carlos, um, un pak flas Shqip, um, Mirëmëngjes, Mirëmbrëma, little greetings, nothing major. Slovene. This is book one. I have two of these. Let me show you. And these are both volume one. There is a volume two that I've been trying to find on, like, I can't find it. I know it exists, but like I can't seem to purchase it anywhere. Anyway, so yeah, this is by Milena Gobitz and Breda Lonchar. Um, Good books for learning Slovenian. I like the format. I just like Yeah, I can't find a tutor. Like I for the longest time, like on Italki or Preply, I tried to find a tutor for Slovenian, but yeah, they charge too much. Anyway, uh, Standard Albanian by Leonard Newmark, Philip Hubbard, and Peter Prifty. A reference grammar for students. Also pretty good. right? I wouldn't use it to study like the language like a regular textbook and with exercises and but it's not bad. Like I like it. Um, but I have other Albanian books that I prefer, or I have a yeah. Anyway, I'll continue. Uzbek. This is a nice little Hippocrene practical dictionary. Hippocrene puts out a lot of good language material, so I have this book. Oops. Hello, testing, testing. Sorry, I hit the cable on my mic. Okay, back. I have this book here. It's a Slovene English dictionary. Slovensko-angleški slovar. Slovar means dictionary. Let me put this over here. I don't want to touch this microphone cord again. This book is just a regular book written in Slovenian or Slovene. You can go back and forth on what it's called. This is by Ivan Chankar. Jaz, bratje, pavem za domovino. Don't ask me what it means. I've never bothered to look it up. I'm not anywhere close to being able to read something like that. A Malaysian book, Everyday Malaysian Phrase Book and Dictionary, second edition by Thomas G. Oy. I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing that wrong. It's O-E-Y. How would you pronounce that? O-E-Y. That's his last name. Um, Learn to Read in Japanese, A Japanese Reader, Volume 1 by Roger Lake and Noriko Ura, or Ura Noriko. This has kanji, hiragana, katakana, romaji English. So, yeah, that's the way they help you read. It's a good approach. It's just like, yeah, I stopped studying Japanese. Japanese is the one language I think I've tried to learn the longest, but it's like I do it for a few months, I stop, I don't touch it for like several months, maybe even a year, and I go back and look. So at the end of the day, I know a bunch of greetings and my pronunciation is so-so. Um, okay. I have a Russian English dictionary um, by Kenneth Katzner. So Russian is also another language I'm currently on and off, kind of actively trying to learn, like Здравствуйте, Привет, uh, Я говорю немного по-русски, хорошо, спасибо, очень круто, um, сука, блядь, things like that. All right. Croatian book here, Elementary Croatian by Vinko Grubišić. I Grubišić. I think that's how it's supposed to be read, but yeah, it's been a while. More Turkish, another Turkish book. Yeah, I had a Turkish book earlier. This is Louis V. Thomas, Elementary Turkish, revised and edited by Norman Itzkovitz, or it's yeah, probably Witz with the W with the Witz. Um, I forget. Yeah, it's got grammar and a lot of vocabulary, so not bad if you want to get into Turkish, like without committing to like a major textbook like I had earlier. This is a Routledge series. This is famous. Routledge puts out a bunch of these grammar books for like a ton of languages, and I have the Slovene one. Um, okay, so good stuff. Bulgarian. A concise history of Bulgaria. This is not a language book. This is just a history of Bulgaria. As sometimes I like to read a little bit about the culture of languages I'm studying. Sometimes, not all countries, but because yeah, my interest is language. Culture is interesting, but yeah. Dictionary of English and Estonian. Uh, Minunimion Carlos. Um, Tere, Terehomikust. Um, I forgot how to ask, how are you? Cuidas Laheb. I think that's like, how's it going? A little bit casual, but okay. Um, Croatian. Another Hippocrene book. Hippocrene, I like Hippocrene. Hippocrene Company puts out good language material. Beginner's Croatian with 2 audio CDs. I'm pretty sure I bought this new, and I don't know where the CDs are. I mean, I have them, but I don't know where I've placed them. Yeah, a Hippocrane gives you the language in nice piecemeal, small packages, and like it's a good way to learn. If you're self-motivated and you're motivated enough, like, these Hippocrane books will be effective for you. Um, they're not full-blown language textbooks, like I said, with some grammar, with vocabulary, with dialogues, with exercises, but it has some of that. Um, anyway, okay. Russian for beginners. This is learn the basics of Russian in 30 days. Um, mm, don't recommend. It's not bad. Intro to some stuff, but like, yeah, there's better books, obviously. Here's one of them, I think. Basic Russian. This is a Fair book. I have two of these. I have this version, or this edition, and this edition. This is not a bad way to go. If you like had to choose one Russian book, like, I would not be disappointed if this were my only option. But I have other options because I spend money like water when it comes to language stuff. Well, you would think I'd speak many languages, but I don't. This little tiny book here, is this a dictionary? No, it's a phrase book, a Slovene phrase book. I have this. I want to get into Slovene, but I really need, like, yeah, I have too many wants, actually. Armenian, Duhayrem Hosomes. Armenian little dictionary. In America here, most Armenians are Western Armenians. There's a lot of Eastern Armenians, but the official, like, in the language in the world, the Armenia country, the official language is Eastern Armenian. Um, so every time I try to every time I try to hire a tutor, he or she is Eastern Armenian. But I want to learn Western Armenian. Okay, another Serbo-Croatian is this is the colloquial by Rutledge. This colloquial, like colloquial Russian, colloquial Albanian, colloquial Serbian, or Serbo-Croat. These are very good books. Like, even better, I think, than the Hippocrene books. But they're close. But like, I like these books. Now it's going to be a little bit of hit or miss depending on the language, right? Because, yeah, depending on the author. So, but usually they do a very good job. Their standards, like, obviously, are pretty high, and they have like certain formats to what they want from their authors to produce. And so, yeah, generally, like, it turns out to be good stuff. Uh, Instant Indonesian, apa kabar? Um, what else? This is just how to express over 1,000 different ideas with just 100 keywords and phrases. Okay, I don't know about that, but anyway, I bought it. Um, First lessons in Japanese. This is by Naoe Naganuma. This is Romaji. I like this. I l- well, because I'm not going to learn kanji. Mm, I just study with Romaji. One time I could read the hiragana katakana, but then I started in on the kanji and I'm like, F this, I'm not gonna do it. So, like, I'd be content if I could just speak at a very low conversational level Japanese. Watashi wa Carlos des. O namae wa nan desu ka? Uh, Konnichiwa, ohayo gozaimasu, domo, domo arigato, hajimemashite, itadakimasu, kawaii, yabai, mochiron, watashi wa baka desu. Yeah, so I can say some things, and I think my pronunciation is not terrible. Not high praise, but okay. Um, I have this Spanish dictionary. I teach Spanish. Uh, Dictionary is obviously very helpful, but actually, I find that dictionary is not needed for, like, until you get to like intermediate level, really. Easy Spanish phrase book. Again, I pick up Spanish materials just to see if it'll be good for my students, not necessarily for my use, in a sense, not for my use. Um, if you're getting into Spanish on your own, I recommend this Madrigal's Magic Key to Spanish. It has a lot of English Spanish cognates. So it gets you. it gets you going, speaking the language with relatively little study. Um, One of my favorite Russian books is Bondar's Simplified Russian Method. It's a little bit outdated. I think this is like a 1950s book, maybe earlier, 1943. Yeah, so some of the terminology is old and not used. Tavarish, but it's a good format, and I like the format. Uh, Another Hippocrene book on Albanian, another very good Albanian book for starters. Uh, okay, I don't use this one, but it's good. Like I wouldn't be sad or disappointed if I had to use this one. Beginner's Albanian with online audio. I feel like the audio, like people like harp too much on whether certain language books have audio or not. Like obviously it's nice, like especially if they have a dialogue, you follow the dialogue and then you repeat it. But if you just go on YouTube and almost for almost any language, there's going to be people who produce beginning videos and lessons and greetings and common phrases and like the numbers, the months, things like that. And so you start to you can just start mimicking them, shadowing them, and you hear the pronunciation of certain syllables. And yeah, so like you don't have to learn. I wouldn't try to learn reading rules, right? Especially for example, if you're trying to learn English, good luck. Like good luck learning reading rules that will help you pronounce English words correctly. Like English is everywhere, and they're like the rules are not going to help you. Like exceptions are almost the bigger group than the regular the ones that would follow some kind of reading patterns. So, and I think for languages like yeah, whatever. Like for me, like Albanian, Estonian, Russian, I just watch YouTube videos and I hear people pronounce zdravstvuyte or përshëndetje or mirëmëngjes or mirimbrema, Japanese, hajime mashite, uh, yoroshiku onegaishimasu. So you just copy, you just shadow them, and then after a while, then when you see those same syllables in other words, you can pronounce them relatively well. Like you don't need to follow word for word a dialogue and then the accompanying CD to be able to eventually read that dialogue well. Like you don't need the CD for that. You can just take in a bunch of other words that have those similar sounds in them, and you'll be able to yeah pronounce them. Okay. Anyway, English Albanian dictionary, handy stuff. This is by Elo Stefan Lari. Stefan Lari. I don't know. I think I'm butchering his name. I said I like the colloquial series by Routledge. This is colloquial Albanian. Another good source. This is again like I could perfectly I would be perfectly fine studying from this book to learn Albanian. Oops. This is Japanese Verbs and Essentials of Grammar by Rita Lampkin. Okay, I have this book. Another book that I bought to see if my it would be good for my students. Easy Spanish Reader. So graded readers are good. I don't recommend them early. Like get to you got to be a post beginner. Like because then it's really hard to find graded readers for like beginning students or even like yeah, like if you're just a month or two into studying, I think you're not ready for graded readers. Um, yeah, 'cause it's not going to be comprehensible input. It's going to be way too much that you don't understand. And it's going to be a chore. It's not going to be fun, and you're going to stop it. Like you're not going to continue it. Okay. Basic Russian vocabulary, a handy reference for everyday words arranged by topic by Anne Rolbin. So frequency vocabulary generally. Um, I have this book here. Beginning Japanese Part 1, Eleanor Hars Jordan. Is that three people or is that her name? That sounds like three people. With the assistance of Hamako Ito Chaplin. Oh, somebody married a white boy. Um, yeah, this is a textbook. It is. in Romaji to start with, and then towards the end, still Romaji. So okay, it's not bad. Like I don't know if I would recommend it, but okay, it's good for what it is. Oh, I just have this from Daiso, little like practice my writing. I said I didn't study it, but I mean I did learn it at one time. This is kind of new. I keep flip-flopping on whether I want to learn. I thought I was just going to learn hiragana, katakana, and not the kanji. But anyway, very good Latin book, especially if you're a self-learner. Collar and Daniel's first year Latin. Uh, yeah, I have this book. I use this book sometimes to study Latin. Complete Spanish step by step. Not exactly a textbook that it has exercises. It's like a textbook. It's kind of close to what a full textbook in Spanish would be. But I like to use this because as I teach the Spanish and I recommend this to my students, then I can explain them and then I generate my own exercises for them. So whatever this is actually missing, I compensate um, with exercises that I create. And it's a good format. Like the grammar that they give you is organized well, I think. So I recommend that book if you're a Spanish student. Beginner's Russian Reader, another reader. This is by Pargament. Yeah, so I have a reader. This is an Estonian handbook of Estonian nouns, adjectives, and verbs. So conjugations and declensions. Estonian has 14 cases, like Finnish. I think Finnish has 14, maybe Finnish has more, but Estonian has 14 cases, so a little bit crazy, but okay. I picked this up recently. This is what I'm talking about, a full textbook. Well, it will give you grammar, vocabulary, dialogues, a little bit of cultural stuff, which me, I don't care too much, and then exercises that you have to do. This is called Español. Uh, yeah, Español. It says Español en Español. Anyway, it's by Nicholas Shumway and David Forbes, with a Forbes. I picked this up for $4. I can see the price tag. And yeah, this book I recommend. If you are like maybe even homeschooling your child and you know a tiny bit of Spanish, this will be enough to like get you through, I think. And if you're teaching yourself, this will not be a bad way to go. Okay, Slovene stuff. I really want to learn Slovene one day, but anyway, I have this dictionary by Dasha Komats. Komats. I don't know if the C in Slovene is a ts. I kind of think it is. In some countries it's ch. And since I've studied like at one time I could read Uzbek, Croatian, Slovene, Albanian, Russian, Turkish, Kyrgyz, Kazakh. Anyway, so at some point, like you forget which countries use the C as a C or as an S sound or as a ch sound or as a ts sound. And the same with the Y. Sometimes the Y's are just, I mean, sometimes the J's are j, but most of the time they're yeah. But like, yeah, I mean, sometimes I forget like which countries does which. So here, this is the book I'm using for Estonian. Mm, public access online. If you choose, if you search the Peace Corps Estonian book, the Peace Corps, it's a pretty good layout too. Like I use that with my tutor because she doesn't have this. So we just decided we're going to use the Peace Corps one. Anyway, I had one lesson with my tutor. Let's not go crazy here, but I will be using that in the future. Um, anyway, so this is by Tuldava. I think this is like he didn't write this book, but he wrote it for English because it was a great book for Estonians. As I forget what the original was. I forget the backstory, but good book by Tuldava if you want to learn Estonian. Highly recommend this book. More Eesti, which is Estonian in Estonian dictionary, 40,000 words. Okay. Mm, Albanian phrase book, 541 Albanian verbs. Now with ChatGPT and other stuff, you probably don't need something like this, but to me, having something handy where I don't have to like, getting bombarded with photons, like is worth it. But this was 20 bucks. I couldn't find it for like I tried to find it for cheaper. I thought something like I would be able to get it for like half the price, but anyway, so yeah, I pulled the trigger and I got it. Um, this is the workbook of Discovering Albanian 1. I know a lot of people have this, like, use this book because I think it's public access. But I had the workbook and I have the textbook. This is by Linda Maniku and Hector Campos. Hector Campos also has 3 videos on udemy.com. Udemy.com is where you go and buy language programs or language courses. He has a free he has a free one where he goes over the alphabet and some basic pronunciation. Then he has a lesson like video 1 and video 2, let's call them. And I think video 1 and video 2 take you through this book. Like I know video 1 takes you through this book, but I don't know if it completes it. And then like, okay, so this is number 1. I think there's a number 2, but I don't have number 2. At least I don't think I do. But I wouldn't be surprised if I did have. All right, let's go to some of the. I have the living languages Russian. It has a bunch of booklets and the CDs. It's all in there. Uh, Pretty good. I like these. I also have one for Arabian. Uh, I'm thinking this is Fusha, common, the standard. Uh, it doesn't say, but I think yeah, it would have been. I think it's Fusha. Anyway, I have Pimsleur. Let me pull Russian. It's Russian? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I have Pimsleur. Uh, this is the gold edition, Russian 1 and Russian 2. Uh, Pimsleur's good if you want to like work on your pronunciation. Um, I don't necessarily think it's good to get to fluency, but anyway, I was going to open it up and show you the CDs, but okay, they're in there. You just have to take my word for it. You have to. I have Arabic 1, 2, and 3, modern standard, as you can see, and those are also in there. I have an old living languages for French. Je m'appelle Carlos. Ça va. This is empty, but I have the materials. This is a conversational, Pimsleur's conversational Tagalog. Putanina mo. Um, I also have the teach yourself Punjabi, or sometimes we call it Punjabi. Um, yeah, I can open this one up, I think. But it doesn't close. So yeah, the booklet and the CD. There's a CD on the bottom. You can see. Okay, this with the little latch snapped because it's plastic. And okay, I have a few more here. I have the Asamil Yiddish. Uh, yeah, it's in there. Like, I don't want to open it up. I'll drop it. And this is the Ukrainian flash. This is the Yiddish from that's spoken in Ukraine. These are now like good luck finding these for like 200 bucks. If you want to get this is the what's the super pack. If you want to get Asamil super pack these days, you're gonna need to spend like 200 bucks. I mean, I think maybe some you can get a little cheaper, but like the harder ones, the rarer ones like Yiddish, at least 200 bucks. And then I have this one, which is Arabic. Um, the green flag is, I don't know, Saudi Arabia? Maybe not Saudi Arabia. Anyway, I won't guess, as I already did. Anyway, so I have this super pack. I'm probably gonna sell a bunch of my language stuff, a bunch of my SML and Pimsleur and Living Languages stuff, just because I'm trying to be realistic about what I'm eventually going to study again. Okay, so let me grab these last two. This is the Living Languages Japanese CDs booklet. It's all in there. And finally, for this video is Arabic again. living languages. So I have the living, I have both living languages, the older version and the newer version. Um, Pretty much the same, I think. It's been a while since I looked at it. Anyway, so let me see if I can. No, I don't want to open it up. It'll be a clusterfuck. All right, that's it. Those are my language learning materials. Uh, Installment one. I'm gonna assume it's gonna take me like 6 videos to cover everything I have here in my room. Okay. Um, if you have any language books that you think are like stellar, yeah, let me know in the comments. Um, all right, peace. I'm gonna click and then I'm gonna click again before it officially logs out. Mirupavshim.